All right, guys, welcome back to the segment here. It's going to be a little bit different today because I don't know if you've seen what has gone on in the last week or so with the No Kings protests, but even here locally, Sarasota, Bradenton, Manatee County, Sarasota County, there has been some crazy things that we kind of have to talk about. It's gotten too far for us in our communities to just blossom over this. So I wanted to really make a statement here and talk about exactly what I saw here locally. I mean, I didn't go in person, but I did see people from Sarasota and Manatee County, some of my friends that attended as, Trump supporters, but attended to see what was going on. And it's getting pretty nasty here. So just to start off, we're going to talk about the 8647. I don't know if you've seen this stuff, but before I show you what the No Kings protest was, I don't know if you've seen James Comey, the former director of the FBI, posted the shell formation, 8647, which is code for take out Trump. 47 is the president, 86 is a code for take out. So he posted that and got a lot of flack on social media, but now we're seeing here locally, look at this post right here, 8647, 86 Trump and ICE. People are calling out Trump and ICE right here in our areas, saying to take them out. Like, where have we gotten where we can't disagree anymore without calling on this kind of violence and stuff? So it's crazy. But what is going on with the No Kings protests? What is going on here locally? What we saw was millions of people, and they actually showed clips of Trump's inauguration accidentally on some of the news organizations saying it was the No Kings protest. But what we saw locally was a couple thousand people with no idea what they're protesting. They have no idea what they're rioting against and protesting against. They're saying no kings, but we haven't had a king here in this country at all, ever. So congratulations, I guess it worked. But to be calling for the assassination, basically, of President Trump is pretty crazy. The sitting president of the United States and the law enforcement officers who are trying to keep the city safe. I know if you guys are watching this, you probably have seen a lot of the anti-ICE. We've seen over 1,000% increase in ICE violence against ICE officers. It's just getting out of control. This is in Sarasota too. ICE should be crushed. No crown for a Nazi clown with a chain around President Trump's neck. We have to call out the stuff that's happening right here. I know you guys have heard the saying, local action equals national impact. And so if anything's going to change nationally, it needs to start right here in our counties. I mean, they said the second coming of Hitler. Just so many awful things going on. And that's just one part of this. So I had to bring that to your attention before we get any further. But what I really am not happy about is what the children that are being involved with some of this stuff. Because if you have children, you know how important it is to be a parent and how important it is where your child goes to school. Those are the two biggest things for having kids, right? And I don't even have kids, but I have 5 siblings, so I've seen the impacts of my parents on me and us, and then I've seen the impact of the school system. But some of these parents that attended these protests are essentially grooming their children into this mindset and into these things that we don't need to be teaching kids. Look at this image. Everyone welcome. The message, sounds innocent, but then you look at the messaging on the sign, and you're seeing the pride flag and the transgender flag as a kid holds it. They shouldn't even know what transgender means. It's awful. And so the impact of parents right here is where this all starts. The impact of our families in our houses needs to happen before you look at any news network, before you let your children go to any school or even church for that matter. Parents have to be parents. Nothing else can parent your kids. I want to make that really clear. No pastor, no teacher can be the parents of your kids. And that's why school board is so important right now. Because as you know, November 2026, we're going to have more elections coming up, the midterms, and there will be some school board seats opening. One of our own, we know people here that are running. So it's really amazing. One of our own here on Coastal Conservative News is running for school board in Sarasota County, Michelle Posey. So we see that when you have the wrong people in these school boards as the members and directors, they can indoctrinate your children. And it's just making me kind of upset now, because I've seen things go from my siblings seeing things that they shouldn't be seeing in school. Even in the free state of Florida. We think of California or New York as these liberal states that have all this indoctrination, but it's happening even where we're living. So school board is where it starts. But this was also at the No Kings protests, and you know what else was? A furry outbreak. That sounds ridiculous, but I'm not even kidding. We saw people in Sarasota County dressed up as, I don't even know what they're trying to say anymore, but as crabs, as, this is ridiculous, as like flamingos, as unicorns, as chickens. What are they doing? I don't understand what's going on anymore. It's like they've gotten so far that they don't even know what they're doing. They've gone so far against Trump that they're just showing up to be against him. And I don't know what the animals have to do with it, but it just makes them look even more ridiculous. So, I mean, one of them says, this lady's dressed as a chicken and has a sign that says, Republicans starve the kids and kill the sick. What are you talking about? Like, what are you actually talking about? Because from what I'm seeing, the Democrats are the ones voting to keep the government shut down, which, if you didn't know this, Meals on Wheels, certain portions of Meals on Wheels are funded by that, and when the government is shut down, they can't function like they usually do. And some people, especially elderly, live off of stuff like that with meals. So, as far as I see, Democrats are the ones who are starving people, and what they're trying to do is use this government shutdown to be, I think it's personally going to be some kind of campaign thing to use in 2026. But it's going to backfire, because 55 Republicans and one or two Democrats, by the way, which John Fetterman is one who I credit, are voting to open it. But then you have 45 Democrats and a few Republicans voting to keep it shut down. This impacts your local area too. I don't know if you know that. It's not just the Washington, D.C. that gets affected by this. So when they say Republicans starve kids and people and kill the sick, I don't think so. They're trying to fund Medicaid for illegal immigrants, which takes away the Medicaid that was designed for sick and disabled people, the elderly, and pregnant women. So all the things are completely contradictory to what their message is. It's really funny, actually. It's ironic that they use the messaging that's everything against their own party. And so I'm starting to see this locally, and that's why we have to stand up as citizens in our counties to make sure that this stuff gets pushed out of our area. Because as long as we are still fighting, there's still a chance for my generation, for my kids, and my kids' kids. As long as we're still fighting to keep the truth at the center, there's still a chance. All right, guys, I want to go into our good news, wholesome moment of the week. Something that you might not hear a lot of Republicans say, and especially not a lot of Democrats say, is this right here. Former President Biden has finished his cancer radiation treatment and rung the bell. And I just want to say, congratulations, that's amazing. But with the era of politics we're in, if this were reversed, if Trump were in this position, Democrats would be celebrating. The left would be celebrating. And not everyone, not all of the people on the left would be celebrating, but a lot of them were, as we saw with Charlie Kirk. But I want to especially take just a few moments here and say, this is a good thing. This is a good thing that a former president is now cancer-free, and we need to have some humanity as human beings that are created in the image of God to say, wow, look how far our political world has gone that we have to celebrate sickness and death of others. That's where we draw the line. It's God versus godless now, in my opinion. I think it's more than right versus left, even in our communities. It's not right versus left. It's not even in politics. It's God versus godless and good versus evil. So I encourage you today to stay on the side of good, of truth, and of God. And if you don't know God, just go to a church. Read the Bible. Take one small step of action, and God will take 10 steps back towards you. I know it's a little bit off of what we usually talk about here, but I did want to mention it. It's going on, and we need to just be humans again, because it looks like we're not anymore. So thank you guys for coming to this segment. A little bit different because I kind of just went off of my mind recently with this stuff going on, but I know you guys are feeling the same way. So make sure you tune in to Coastal Conservative News every Friday, because we got whole shows of good information. Not just me, not just we have all these hosts of great stuff. So make sure you're following us on all platforms. And follow me on my platform at CamdenTreyB. And I'll see you guys next week on Cam in the Moment. See ya.